Do you want to go straight into it, or are you set up? Are you ready, or do you want to?
I'm set up for a joke. I've got one.
That was a joke.
I've got a few. I've actually got. I've got a few saved. I read actually 4 good ones in a row, which is recent. Which recently is not, but it's not been like very forthcoming. I actually think my house is haunted by the ghost of a chicken.
By the ghost of a chicken. Because why?
I think I've got a poltergeist.
Oh, very good. Is it called Peeves?
Maybe.
There's a nerdy answer for all you nerds out there.
Somewhere a Harry Potter fan's ears pricked up.
Yes, exactly. My brother, probably the only one who got that. Hello and welcome to episode 44 of That's Class, a podcast about things we find class, hosted by 2 of your favourite class holes. As always, I'm Ruaridh Medium Rare Kidd, joined by Duncan Steamed Ham Malcolm, and unfortunately Eddie still won't be joining us this week as he is still recovering from his penis injury from a haggis. How's it going, Dunk? Why am I medium rare? And
because you live in England, and I feel that's a very hot place. So I feel if you've been in and out of the water all day, you're probably about medium rare.
Oh yeah, and steamed ham.
Oh, it was. What was the soup of the day yesterday? Air. Like
Soup of the day.
It was so thick.
What is the soup du jour?
It was so thick. Yes, the soup du jour was just breathing.
This is because
it just turned me into a bit of a steamed ham. Low and slow.
This is because the weather in the UK right now is hotter than the sun.
I've been in worse, but it's not been that bad. Like, I wouldn't say it's been that unbearable, but I know for some people it has been. But it all depends on the person. But yeah, it's toasty.
I thought personally it was the funniest thing I've ever witnessed on the news. So like, we're actually okay down here because we've got a sea breeze.
Oh yeah,
so,
it'd be nice on the coast.
So like, London's probably the hottest place there. I've never actually checked where was the hottest, but on the news they were like fear-mongering the hell out of you. And they were just like, make sure that you drink lots of fluids and you reapply your sunscreen. And if you're feeling warm, put your bed sheets in the freezer and put some socks in the freezer. It's like, chill the fuck out. It's not going to be that hot.
Yeah, you've just been in Sri Lanka where it's like this every day.
No, but that's not my... Yeah, fair enough.
But you're on an island. Again, you're on a beach. So
yeah. No, but again, people have been on holiday before. People have witnessed this weather.
Yeah,
most people.
You're talking about the... Right. Just stop for a second. You're talking about the British public. Not individuals, the British public.
All common sense leaves the brain.
Correct. I mean, to be honest, though, there has been some like horrific things, but also because you see that entire village is just gone. Like, just burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, and actually we did have some, not forest fires, but like...
Brush fire?
The heather and stuff on the hills. Has some of that was on fire nearby. So yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm surprised we've not had more. But yeah, it's not. But it's not like world ending at the moment.
Yeah, stop it! Like ever since COVID, I feel like the news has just been like, just stay inside. It'll be fine. Don't go outside.
It's the classic case of the toilet
Protect
roll.
the old people.
It's the toilet roll scenario where it's kind of everybody just goes. Everyone's just, oh my god, I need to get a paddling pool. Oh my god, I need to get this. Oh my god. Why aren't there any super soakers for the children? Because we don't have any children. Well, we need to buy some super soakers.
And a pool. All the pools.
Go to
the middle aisle of Aldi.
No, the middle aisle of Aldi will be 1 week too late. So this week it was all camping stuff, okay? And next week the sun will have gone and it'll all be paddling pools and slip and slides.
That's actually so true.
I'll let you know. We're shopping, Alex. I'll let you know next week.
I shop in Lidl, so I'll let you know what they have next.
Yeah.
But how did you cope with the weather? Were you all right?
Fine. Absolutely fine.
Was it fine in Edinburgh?
it was pretty cold. It was 33 degrees yesterday, and it was about 29 on Monday. And to be honest, I was able to sit out in the garden, in the chair, just enjoy the sun, get a bit of cream. Yeah.
This is class.
This is class. This is. And then
Here, cat, put the barbecue on. Yeah, this is class.
Here, go get a couple of tenants from the fridge, eh?
A couple of tennies,
Couple of tennies.
Scoop up some of that garlic we've got in the garden, eh? That'll be good.
Oh yeah, the garlic. Put that on the barbecue.
Cap's off weather.
Actually, to be honest, that hasn't come back this year. That's been very strange. That's like a
the
magical thing that'll never happen again.
Maybe you killed it with your strimmer.
Maybe.
I think what you did say was I was strimming the garden and I just got a whiff of garlic. That was you just killing it all.
But for that glorious moment, my garden did smell like an Italian pizzeria.
Which is a goals in life.
That's a goal in life, yeah.
Shall we kick it off with the start of the podcast?
Yeah, let's go into some other topics of things that we've been watching and doing.
Yeah, we've got a few little topics. Not many huge things have happened over the last week. So
Power Washer Simulator released, Roy. That's probably the biggest thing going.
That's actually amazing. I have a friend whose job literally is that. He power washes decks and driveways and stuff.
They released House Flipper on the PC. Oh no, they released House Flipper, and then they're on Game Pass, and then they put Power Washing Simulator. There's also lawn mowing simulators on there as well.
That's so. My housemate literally just downloaded Farming Simulator 22, and like I'll sit on the couch in the living room watching the TV, and his computer setup. He's got the same one as you, like a big gaming setup.
Yeah,
that like glows different colors.
Glows different colors.
And he's like on the right hand side, so the TV's here and over there, and then I can just see him, and he's like up and down his little fields, like plowing.
We played that on an Xbox night one night. 4 of us playing Farming Simulator, managing a farm.
That's so funny.
It was so funny, dude, because literally the co-op was like one of the examples, like someone driving a combine harvester and you're driving the tractor next to it, like on Clarkson's farm.
Oh no, the coordination you need and the teamwork.
Yeah, so much coordination. Silence as well, just complete silence. It was like a proper farm. It was not compared to that, like Fall Guys the other night. It's completely different.
But let's talk about what I've been watching recently.
Go for it.
We should maybe do this as a topic. I think that's quite good. What have you been watching recently?
We've done this before.
I think we have done that, and then we forgot to add it to the schedule.
Yeah.
But I have been watching the new Netflix Resident Evil show.
Okay.
Have you played any of the game?
I've played 1 through 6.
Oh right, good. Then you have reference.
I have references for it. 4 was one of the big ones. 4 is an incredible game.
Cool.
In general.
So my thoughts of it so far, I think I've only watched 4 episodes. The CGI, it's a TV show, fair enough. Like I won't complain about it. I like the story of the zombies, and they're not dead, which you get a lot of zombie movies where they are the undead. They're dead, but they're still living.
Typically what a zombie is.
Yeah, but the main character in this, I think she's a scientist. Her dad was a scientist who basically started the virus.
Our dad's Albert Wesker, who's the main. He is in the games, and this is, I guess, a spoiler, but also not a spoiler.
He's in the game. He is. So wait. Let me say what I've seen, and then you can spoil it.
I'll try not to.
So spoilers for the Resident Evil TV show. If you've not already played the game, then you're probably just like, come on, Rory, Jesus Christ. But so Albert Wesker. He works for Umbrella as the top scientist, making this thing called Joy, which is meant to be like a happy pill, but also maybe like a brainwashing pill. And if you take too many of these pills, you could potentially turn into a zombie. And there was this whole scene about, well, we need to make it safe. How many pills does one person need to take to turn into a zombie? And he was like 200 million, 200,000 pills, which is actually like, no one will ever do that. But then his two daughters, I don't know if they're in the game, Billy and Jade Wesker.
No, I don't remember the Weskers as well as I remember the other crew.
So Billy and Jade Wesker are like 14. It's the year 2022, I think, when they're basing it. And they're living in New Raccoon City. So there was a Raccoon City, and then that got blown up in a gas fire. And then New Raccoon City's here. And Billy and Jade sneak into Umbrella's thing. They find this rabid dog.
Yeah.
The dog bites Billy. And then during this whole thing, Jade finds out that it takes 3 days from a bite to turn into a zero. And the last episode I saw, their dad had also found out that she'd been bitten, so he set a timer as well. But as he was setting the timer, he also started to like turn into a weird zombie thing, and then he injected himself with Billy's blood. He had like vials of Jade's and Billy's blood, so he injected that into his neck, and then he stopped going all rabid, which I was like, okay, maybe she won't. And then the end of the last episode I just watched, the timer went off. He was like, it's happening. And she was like, no, the timer went off 15 minutes ago. Like, you're fine. And I was like, oh, she's fine. Right, cool. So it's quite cool that what they're doing is they're showing you Jade's childhood.
They're doing 2 timelines, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're doing like 2 separate timelines.
Jade's childhood, and then the future timeline, which is like 2052, I think. And it's Jade as a grown-up trying to study them, see if there's if the virus changes and if there's any brain activity or any leaders or followers or any group, like they can actually work together type thing. So she's working on that.
Yeah.
But the way that they're putting the story out is that Billy died sometime in the past.
That sounds very much like she's going to appear at the end of this series.
Exactly.
And
she's being hunted.
Foreshadowing.
She's being hunted by Umbrella like constantly.
Yeah, so Umbrella are typically the bad guys. I don't think it's been a long time since I played them. Yeah. Typically the first one is where they investigated this mansion. And have Stars been in it? Pretty sure their name was Stars. It's like their version of SWAT.
Maybe. What, the Umbrella?
No, Raccoon City Police.
No.
So typically the first 2 that arrived were Chris Redfield, who's like this Captain America type. And then there's his sister, Claire Redfield. And then there's Jill Valentine, who I wouldn't recommend turning your safe search off for. Just because she's one of the ones that people gravitate to. So there's Jill Valentine. Horny nerds. Mind you, the funny thing was, the Resident Evil movies, remember when they made them? And they were terrible, like horrific, like awful.
It was kind of like a weird vampire Matrix thing.
No, that's Underworld.
I'm thinking of something else. Underworld.
That's Underworld, yeah. I watched all of them recently as well, because they're on Netflix. And I regretted it after the 4th one, but the first 2 were pretty good.
Okay.
No, the Resident Evil movies were kind of like the first one was good but terrible, but made a lot of money. The second one was kind of quite faithful to their second game, but still terrible. And then they got progressively worse, but they keep getting made. I don't understand how they made like 6 of them.
Yeah.
At one point, I think Mila Jovovich.
They not made 7 now.
They've made,
or 8. No,
they made 8
what's
games.
A V1?
But I don't know how many movies they've had. That's V2. It says Village, but it's a V.
Village. That's 7, right?
Yeah. So it's 7. So they made 8 now because there's a new one coming out. But yeah, they've had 8. That's not true. They've had 8 because they had 7 and then they had 8.
Oh, okay. So there has been 8.
So there has been 8. There's been 8, but I don't know how many movies there's been, but the movies didn't parallel the games.
No, and I don't know if this is either because
no, it definitely isn't.
The first one is in Raccoon City. The only time you're in...
The first one's in a mansion. The second one's is basically they can't contain the outbreak in the mansion, and the second one's set in Raccoon City where you meet Jill Valentine and somebody else as your 2 playable characters. 3 I can't remember for the feckin' life of me. 4 is you get sent to a completely different part of the world to like, what's he? I think it's Brazil, but it can't be Brazil. It's South America somewhere. You meet the Ouroboros virus, which turns out is an offset of the Raccoon City virus, except this one makes tentacles come out of people's faces.
Grim.
Yeah. You know the Demogorgon?
I think I've seen those in the TV show.
Possibly. So the Ouroboros, you know the Demogorgon from
Yeah.
Yeah, so in Resident Evil 4, the villagers all just tilt their heads back, and you have to the head comes out and opens up like the Demogorgon. And it's really, really horrific. And you basically headshots are your best friend. But obviously, ammunition is really scarce.
Yeah.
5 is this same sort of thing, I think. 5's mad. It's like it's called Biohazard or something. Was that 7? And then I remember 6 is just chaos. I remember 6 just being mad because that's every character that's featured in the first 6. You could play as most of them throughout it. And it was just chaos. And then they kind of did a soft reboot with 7. But no, Wesker's totally different. So from what I can see, I've not watched any of it, but I saw a couple of trailers.
Yeah. So the whole thing that's different with this is the only time so far that we've been in New Raccoon City is the Childline timeline.
Okay.
The future timeline, she's in London to start with, and then she basically walks from London to Paris through the Channel because it's the only way to get across.
The Channel Tunnel.
The Channel Tunnel, yeah.
All right, I was thinking how she walks through, like, what? The zombies drink all the water.
That's a fun old adventure because it's a tunnel underground full of zombies, basically.
Under the water as well.
Under the water. Yeah. And I also found out that Raccoon City didn't blow up in a nuclear bomb. They did nuke it, but because it got infected.
Right, so it sounds like this show is basically taking the principle of Resident Evil and kind of doing their own thing, but there will still be the precedent of this old Raccoon City is basically like the Resident Evil games by the sounds of things.
Yeah. And here's my question. I don't mind being spoiled about this. Is it his name Hector? No.
I don't know.
Wesker.
Oh, Albert Wesker.
Albert. Is he a zombie? I imagine
Albert
in the
Wesker
game he's maybe like
Albert Wesker is the villain of the Resident Evil games.
Right.
Through just about 1 through 6, you have to try and kill Albert Wesker, and he keeps modifying his body with bits and pieces. So I distinctly remember 4 or 5, like maybe 5. Wesker's in it again, and it kind of, I thought we killed you, and he's like, no, I've mutated, and he's become like superhuman because he keeps experimenting on himself.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah,
he's a bit of a
really
weirdo.
Weird as well. He's a crazy, like, blonde-haired with sunglasses look. Looks like he's like an extra from the Matrix at times.
Oh well, they've cast him differently in this because he's black.
Well, Lance Reddick is
yeah,
a great actor and also has a great voice.
He plays it really. His voice is it's like, you have to take this now. He's almost robotic in a way that he does things.
He talks a bit like this.
Yeah, and
this is not what I see.
He plays it really weird, and he plays it really well. He's done some weird shit, like injecting his own daughter's blood into his neck.
Yeah, that's kind of his character, is kind of that sort of style of scientist.
When the dog bit Billy, Jade killed the dog with like a fire extinguisher, just like smashed his head in. And when Albert came into the scene and saw the dog there covered, like all its blood on the floor, he like sort of like moved around in it and like put the blood all over his face and his head and stuff. And I was like, it's a weird thing to do.
Where Wesker, it's funny you say the dogs. So one of the infamous in the first game, because the camera angle, I'm sure it's the first game, it's notorious for really bad dubbing in the English version and really bad camera angles. Because there's like fixed camera angles, and your character would walk through almost like CCTV.
And you like couldn't get
Yeah, I can't remember if it was before joysticks. It might have been.
I think it was PlayStation
before the
1,
DualShock.
right?
Yeah, it was PlayStation 1, but it might have been before DualShock was a thing. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, DualShock was PS2.
No, DualShock was PS1, but there was a PS1 controllers that came out. The DualShock came out with the PS1, but DualShock support was not original to that. So the original PlayStation controllers don't have any joysticks on them. They just have like 4 buttons and a D-pad. Yeah, but there's no joysticks. So DualShock 2 came out with PS2. But what I'm laughing at is the idea that, see, the dogs moved so quickly, and of course you're used to killing shambling zombies, and all of a sudden the dogs arrive, and when you're so used to, it's kind of that next level. It's a bit like Stranger Things, how they kept upgrading the things you have to kill. When the dogs arrive and they start running at you, you go, ah, run away! Oh no, I'm out of ammo.
I mean, the girls did well being unarmed.
Yeah. I wish that was more of a thing in those games.
I think it might be more of a thing in the TV show. I think they're really branching out. There's very large animal zombies as well, and I wondered if that was in the game. So you see this, like, I guess, train-sized caterpillar that attacks someone at one point, and then in another episode, there's just like a house-sized spider.
Oh, no thanks.
But I was like, this is weird. Like, because zombies are fine, but the animals get massive as well. But I didn't know if it was a game thing.
A bit bizarre. It's not something I recognize. But I'm not super clued up on all of it. I know enough. I know enough to get by.
I recommend giving it a watch, because I'm actually enjoying it. Once you get past,
sounds like they've done the right thing in that you take the precedent of it and then kind of go the other way. It's kind of that, almost that Detective Pikachu thing, where you take the known brand but do something totally out there and totally different, and insert little tidbits and stuff, and you can kind of make it all work.
And people like me who are completely oblivious to what's happened previously can actually enjoy it because they're doing their own story.
Correct, and they're not hampered by trying to shoehorn stuff in. The stuff will fall naturally into it.
Yeah, and the fact that you've now mentioned that Hesker is one of the main bad guys in most. I
want to take a shot for every time you say Wesker wrong.
I don't fucking know his name.
Say whisk. Whisk. Now say Wesker.
Wesker.
Son of a bitch.
Heskin.
Hesky. Hesky. Busker. Oscar. Beskar.
Albert.
Oscar.
It's very good. If you've not watched it, those of you listening, give it a watch. Hesker's a very cool dude. Duncan loves him. Duncan, let's talk about the Russo brothers.
What are they up to now? Apparently their Grey Man movie's out soon, and apparently it's getting mixed reviews. Apparently it's really boring.
I mean, it's classic Ryan Gosling, isn't it? He's such an arty actor. Does all these boring movies, but then after they're out, people go, was that actually, I think it was quite good. That's what
good
people
film.
thought about, like, Drive. Everyone was like, Drive looks insane. And then you went to go and see Drive and you were like, huh.
Really enjoyed Drive though. I thought Drive was really good, but I think one of the things about Drive was, did you not see some woman sued the production company of Drive because the trailer made it look like Fast and the
Furious. Was the thing, because the trailer made it look better than the actual. This movie was very slow.
Yeah, it's a slow burner. Yeah.
But anyway, the Russo brothers are jumping on the Disney bandwagon again, and are directing, I think also writing, the live-action Hercules movie. So you know how Disney...
That's a double-edged sword. That's one of the beloved modern animation.
It really is, and it's got some of the best music in it as well.
Yeah, this isn't like The Lion King, where it's kind of already been done on stage. It's a very old tale. It's very very simple tale. Whereas there are certain films that, if they were approached by Disney, they need to, because they're not the old classics like Snow White, Lion King, things like that. These were the more modern ones, which people really got. So
and people
they already
really
screwed
remember.
up Mulan. Screwed up Mulan. They're obviously doing Hercules. The other one that we're thinking of was Atlantis. or thinking
Yeah.
that would be a
Do you
great
know what would be
live
sick?
action film.
I think I saw it on Twitter. It was Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet. Yeah,
that
that'd
would
be a good one as well.
Sick. Johnny Depp and Tom Holland.
No, because Long John Silver is quite portly. Although Johnny Depp probably.
Yeah,
did.
Johnny
Christian
Depp's-
Bale is
Johnny-
Long John Silver. There
Johnny
we go.
Depp's getting, he could get a bit portly.
Two Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean
Just
6, Treasure Planet.
Yeah, I mean, Disney can hire him again because he's not like
That's true.
his
Court case is cleared. Let's put it
yeah.
that way. Yeah, it's definitely. So yeah, Atlantis, Treasure Planet's another one. And these are ones that people have a soft spot for, but especially Hercules. The only thing they've done right is they're bringing Danny DeVito back.
Are they really? Is he going to play the fawn?
Yes.
I actually love that Danny DeVito is going to do that because he's still going really strong in Sunny. Like he's one of the most horrific characters in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I'm genuinely loving him in every episode. And he can't even know how old he is, but man, I'm stoked on
He
that.
must be getting on a bit now, in acting terms.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so I mean, Danny DeVito is the only thing that we're sort of going, this is good. They're
I
saying
don't know who
that
else is in it.
they're going to put a modern spin on it.
No, that concerns me. Just remake it shot for shot.
It might not be set in
They tried to put a modern spin on Aladdin.
The Greek mythology.
And it didn't work.
Oh, with like Will Smith rapping. Imagine if it was Jamie Foxx. How much better would that have been?
Do you know what would have been even as much as I like Jamie Foxx? How much better it would have been as Jamie Foxx as the genie? Let's put that out. That's
he
a
could
fact.
actually
That's class fact.
He could sing the songs instead of rap them.
He could write the theme tune, sing the theme tune. He actually could. That's the thing. Jamie Foxx would have been way better. But all they should have done was take the Robin Williams soundtrack and the outtakes that he probably have recorded at Disney and just reanimate the genie and slot him in.
Yeah,
and it would have been
probably.
fine. It would have been fine. And nobody would have cared. Everybody would have gone, I'm not so sure about this. And then they would have heard it and you'd have gone, that's fine.
They would have gone, oh, nice. Robin Williams is back.
Yeah, we've managed to resurrect and use the outtakes as well for some other things. Cast Hercules. Oh, wait, hold on. There's been multiple Hercules.
Yeah, there's been heaps. I'm pretty sure The Rock played Hercules once.
Yeah, well, that's pretty accurate casting.
The Rock.
Disney live action Hercules cast. Here it is. Oh God.
Tell the listeners.
I'm just trying to
speak what you read.
Speak what I read. I'm just trying to find it now. These can't all be in this, are they?
Are you on IMDb?
Brant Doherty, Peyton List, never heard of her. Viggo Mortensen is apparently in it, but I don't know.
Nice, Aragorn.
Playing. Aragorn. Dan Fogel, Dolph Lundgren.
Nice.
I've got Gabrielle Union here, who is in Bring It On. Is that the cheerleading one? The infamous one?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Back in the day. She was also in Bad Boys 2. That's when I remember her from.
Nice.
Rosario Dawson.
I know that name. Who's that?
Paula Rosario Dawson is Ahsoka, and she is also in a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
Recently, she was in Daredevil, I think.
She was in Daredevil, yeah. She was the doctor.
Yes. Hercules, here we go, right. Oh my God, there's been so many Hercules films, it's not even funny.
Who have they cast as Hercules, or have they cast him yet?
That's what I think it's this Doherty guy, but I'm trying to work out. Yeah, this is it here. Apparently Guy Ritchie's directing Hercules. Or was. Maybe he's dropped out.
That's what I heard, actually, yeah. Oh, wait, no, because it's the Russo brothers.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just reading on IMDb. Live action Disney cast. Who will play the live action Hercules? There we go. Nope. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I thought they'd done it. I thought there was a casting announcement of everyone that was already in it.
This is my bad. It might actually be what's his face? Guy Ritchie. The Russo brothers are producing.
Oh, here we go.
I read that wrong.
There we go. Fake news.
In a recent press event, the Russo brothers discussed their intentions behind creating a live-action adaptation of Hercules Joe Russo explained that they're approaching the tale from a more modern angle, but that they still plan on honoring the original story and elevating some of the humor from Disney's animated movie in a way that dials it up from 0 to hero levels of laughter.
Okay, so it does look like they've not actually cast it, but everyone's just been fan casting it, and that's where everything's going completely out of whack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie did Aladdin, right?
Yes, he did do Aladdin, and to be honest, the whole concept of the whole Danny DeVito selling all his wares and stuff, and the 0 to hero, it could be quite good. Guy Ritchie directed Aladdin. Aladdin was pretty good. It was let down by Will Smith.
Yeah. Saying that, in 2019 when it came out, it became the 7th highest grossing film worldwide that year.
It was a good... but the Aladdin story and the music is good. If you use the same songs and do the... get the right cast. Yeah. Never have a friend like me, except nobody really wants to be friends with Will Smith, so...
I kind of love our podcast's hate on Will Smith right now. We always
I don't know. I've just been swayed.
For some reason, we pick a celebrity during a timeline and we just like either love them or hate them. So we had Nick Cage when we first started, and he was still love him. And then we had Bruce Willis.
But then he was unfortunately diagnosed with aphasia, so we've retired him to Mount Rushmore.
We've now found Will Smith to just
awful.
I don't even know the words.
So straight. Not even awful is unfair, because he's done some good films. Just there's certain films he would have been so much better without him.
Yeah. I love how you found mean. That. You laughed at your own menacing.
It's just your own mean.
What's the word? Your own maniacal ways. Is that right?
My own maniacal ways. Here's me sitting and sweating my balls off in a small box room. Will Smith's probably chilling by a pool in his multi-million-dollar mansion.
Yeah, he's laughing now.
Slagging him off, yeah. But then again, if Will Smith said, "Hey, I want to come on That's Class," we could absolutely have him on.
Absolutely, come on, Will. You can come on the show anytime you want.
Come on the show anytime you want.
We'll have you here.
Well, we can ask him all these questions about all. I mean, to be fair, he has been in a lot of films. Probably some excellent stories.
Very true.
He can help us get Bearvalanche off the ground.
Oh yeah, we need to make another one of those. Let's do it. Let's get your thinking cap on, Duncan, and we'll make another movie.
How could we make what could be more sinister than a Bearvalanche? I'll think about it.
Yeah.
It can't be a Sharknado. So we already had one of them.
Ah, yes. Or an opal thing. What was the other one?
Oh, we had Opal Hunters. Yeah. Where it was like Pulp Fiction, but in the Australian outback. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
And we were going to star Russell Crowe and Mel Gibson, but we weren't going to tell them they were in a film. We were just going to film them when they arrived on set.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That's so weird.
There's a weird Mel Gibson film out on Amazon recently. And
is there?
Part of me wants to watch it because I feel it's just going to be Mel Gibson could be doing the Bruce Willis thing, or he could be actually going for it. You never know with Mel Gibson.
You never know. He's a crazy, crazy man. Let's talk about Lightyear.
Cool.
I couldn't think of a segue. Lightyear has been given a Disney Plus release date, and it is August 3rd, 2022. I think...
That's literally 2 weeks today.
Yeah, and you said this off air, but I agree. Yeah. Pixar is getting the dirty done on them by Disney. And for some reason, all of the Pixar movies are just like, I don't know, like they're given a cinema release and then very, very quickly are given a Disney Plus release.
If I'm right in thinking this, that the Lightyear is the first Disney Pixar cinema release since Onward in 2019/20.
That's mental.
So Luca and Soul both went straight on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Soul was understandable because there was no cinemas. Luca felt a bit weird because it could have gone to the cinema.
Yeah.
I probably would have done quite well, especially if you released it kind of late summer. It's kind of a summer flick. I don't understand. I don't get it. I think Pixar would be better off trying to maneuver their way out of Disney, but I don't know how you do that considering they've been under Disney for so long.
Tough one.
I mean, imagine if they went somewhere like Universal.
Interesting.
Because I think if you look at what Universal's animations, Universal Studios animated films.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot more than I thought.
Things, right?
That's what I'm just looking up. I'm pretty confident they did The Land Before Time.
Ah, class movie.
Let's go forward and we can come back to it.
Have you seen Lightyear?
No, I haven't seen Lightyear.
Yeah, me neither, actually. So, to be fair, we've not both gone to the cinema to see it. I'm actually looking forward to it being on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but we were saying this the other week about Thor. It's kind of at this point, if you have Disney Plus and a 4K telly, are you just, and you're lucky, if you're lucky enough to have 4K telly or whatever, then why would you go, for some films, why would you go to the cinema?
Yeah. I guess nowadays it's more for the experience than anything.
Yeah, but there's certain films I would go to the cinema for the experience, and certain films that, like we've gone back to Top Gun Maverick or Dune, or I guess when Star Wars: The Force Awakens came out, or James Bond. That's a film that needs to be seen in the cinema.
A big old blockbuster.
The irony being, Toy Story 3 was one I'd went to see in the cinema, because that was a big event.
That was a big event. That was what we thought would be the last of it.
Yeah, well, it is the last of it. I'm actually refusing to address the fact that Toy Story 4 exists.
Yeah, it's kind of like a vignette, not really a movie.
It's a what if. It doesn't. In my opinion, if you want to watch, and this is for listeners as well, if you want to watch Toy Story 4, don't actually watch Toy Story 4. Go to the Disney Plus and watch the Toy Story shorts. Toy Story at Halloween, Rex's Partysaurus Rex, Ken and Barbie's Hawaiian Vacation. The land before, I think it's called the Forgotten Land or something. It's got that dinosaur playset in it.
Right.
And the dinosaurs think they're real and they're going to try and take over the world. And all the toys are like, no, no.
You're a toy.
It's back to the you are a toy thing. And that was the last one, was the dinosaur one. But if you watch all of them, it's about an hour and a bit. And that's Toy Story 4.
That's funny.
Have you watched the dinosaur one?
No, I've not seen any of the shorts.
Oh, you need to watch the shorts. They are excellent. They are worth every penny.
I'll do that.
Partysaurus Rex is funny because Rex gets taken. You know how Rex is obviously a regular toy, and he gets taken for bath time, and obviously he meets all the bath toys.
Oh, nice.
Just
leave
a clever thing. Yeah, it's
don't
just
tell
a clever.
me anymore.
No, it's just a clever play on something that you don't think about. Oh, there's another one called Small Fry, where Buzz gets. They go to McDonald's, and obviously Buzz gets brought in, and obviously the McDonald's or what? The
toys are on display.
Obviously, there's the Happy Meal toys. And obviously the Happy Meal toys have a thing. There's a whole 15-minute bit about that with the small toys.
That's so
of course, good. I don't want to spoil it, but you need to watch it.
I will.
It's when you watch all them and you go, oh man, we should just have more of these.
Yeah.
They're so
that sounds good. Maybe I'll give them a go. That sounds amazing.
I need to find them all. But I was looking up the Universal ones here. Okay, so they've made... did they make Shrek? Oh, no, it's Shrek. I swear Universal made Shrek.
They did.
Am I going mad? No, DreamWorks made Shrek. That's
but DreamWorks is in Universal Studios.
Oh, okay.
Because in the park it is in Florida. I don't know.
I don't know if it is here. Maybe they just teamed up. But even then, Despicable Me, The Lorax, How to Train Your Dragon. They also did Kubo and the Two Strings, which is really good. I don't know if you've seen that. That's a good film.
That's the stop motion one, right?
It's kind of stop motion-y. Yeah. Yeah, that's quite. It's kind of creative. Minions, obviously, they've made heaps off Minions. To be honest, the money they've made off Minions, you could probably buy Pixar.
I'm so done. I'm so done with Minions. Speaking of buying Pixar, though, Microsoft's next acquisition
is Netflix, apparently. But I'm still trying to work out what they're trying to do with Netflix. Like, what? Are they just going to own it? Or?
First of all, I'd just like you to appreciate that segue. But anyway.
It was excellent. Yes.
Microsoft have just bought Blizzard, right?
Yes.
And apparently they're looking to purchase Netflix, which, when I think about it, Game Pass is pretty much Netflix for games, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, yeah.
It's the same sort of thing. And Netflix has been looking for a better way to make money because their way of streaming isn't really... They've lost subscribers in the last couple of years, and they're just not doing as well as they used to. Let me read you this.
Is their problem? I know you're going to read that, but let me ask quickly. Is the problem, why are Netflix losing subscribers? I feel that question is very easily answered.
They've got shit on their channels.
Correct. There's shit all there. And not only that, their own stuff, they cancelled half of it before it gets to season 3.
Yeah.
So there's things people are enjoying. Like that show Sweet Tooth is getting a season 2.
Nice.
I
quite liked it.
I guarantee you, it's almost one of these shows that I kind of feel, if people don't engage with that, it will just, even if it's almost the same, it'll drop straight off they'll cancel it.
The heyday of Netflix for me was Stranger Things start.
Oh, no, not yet, listeners.
Say
it's
pineapple. Coming. Look into the sun.
My eyes.
Stranger Things started. They had the whole Marvel Daredevil thing going on. House of Cards was Netflix as well.
Yeah.
It was just, that was class. And then they got a bunch of movies and they got a bunch of stuff. And then Netflix became, for me, very popular in being the streaming service where you talk like we are about a show and you'd be like, oh, it's on Netflix. Oh, I'll go check it out. And they've already gotten rid of it.
Yeah. Santa Clarita Diet's a good one about that, because that is a great show. It was very funny. It had a weird concept, but it was excellent. Timothy Olyphant and Drew Barrymore, so two big names. I don't know if you've ever seen it. She becomes a zombie and she becomes undead, but she still keeps her appearance. And then she has to eat humans, but obviously they live in suburbs.
Yeah.
So of course, basically they have to find. Obviously, Timothy Olyphant's just can't believe this is happening. He's so easygoing, and he just looks like he's having a whale of a time. But obviously, then have to find someone to murder so they can chop him up and put him in the freezer. It's kind of like black comedy. Because obviously she needs it to survive. I think it only got 2, but it could have got 3. But basically it got cancelled right when there was a big plot twist and cliffhanger. And everyone's just sitting there going, oh no,
resolved it.
Give us the next season, you bastards.
But let me read you this piece of news. I can't remember where I got it. I'm sorry about this. But
give us highlights.
It is quotation. Indeed, Microsoft is actually teaming up with Netflix per an announcement of a couple of days ago for Netflix's new, more affordable ad-supported streaming tier. I think this is just to try and get rid of people sharing family shares or whatever. Microsoft was picked as the exclusive ads marketplace and technology partner for the new service. It will be another feather in the cap for Microsoft's growing ads business, which has no slouch at $10 billion in revenue last year, although it pales in comparison to the likes of Google, which has over 160 billion, which is fine. In any case, one analyst speaking to Yahoo Finance claimed that we all know that's a legit finance. Yahoo! Claimed that the partnership betrayed a possible longer-term goal, namely an exit for Netflix, which has been struggling to diversify its revenue streams and find new growth as of late. A decline in subscribers, so a mass investor exodus over the past year, with Netflix's share price taking an absolute battering from its peak of 690 points all the way down to 177 points. What does that mean? All that reminds me of is The Boys.
I feel like Netflix's share price took an absolute battering because it was artificially got jacked up to hell because everyone was watching Netflix because there was nothing else to do for a year.
Yeah.
It's the same with Zoom. If you look at the Zoom share price during the start of the pandemic, threepence halfpenny, to use an old term, right? Pennies, right? Then, if you go 6 months into the pandemic on the chart, it just goes, for the listeners, my finger is going whoop, up the way, like a peak. And then, of course, after the pandemic, it went down the other side of the mountain. Woo.
Yes. No one's inside watching telly anymore. Last thing from this is senior analyst Laura Martin said it could be that Netflix is looking for an exit. Netflix is trying to get closer to Microsoft in hopes that after Microsoft digests its Activision acquisition, it turns and buys Netflix next.
I feel like Microsoft should stay in their lane and Netflix, because the problem is, Microsoft buying Netflix wouldn't be a bad thing if Microsoft understand. Netflix are saying, "Oh, we're struggling to diversify. Stop trying to diversify. You're making TV shows and you keep canceling them. That's why, and you keep jacking up the price. That's why people are not subscribing." It's literally that simple.
And now they're adding ads.
And now you're adding ads, and you're stopping people from sharing the account. You're making it really hard to use your channel.
They're turning it back into television.
Yeah, we're going full circle here. We had everything in one place, okay? Yeah. And we could watch everything on basically Netflix and then kind of Amazon Prime. So you had one or two, okay?
Yeah.
And that was fine. Then Disney went, you know what? We've got a ton of stuff. We're going to have our own channel, almost like a Disney channel. And then, do you know what? Paramount went, Sky. Do you know what? We used to have a TV channel as well. We've got lots of content. We're going to have our own thing as well. You know what someone's going to do? Someone in about 6 months from now, like maybe 6 months to a year from now, will take a Netflix, an Amazon, a Paramount, a Disney subscription, and they'll sell it to you in some sort of like subscription package. That you can get all of them in one. Oh, wow, wouldn't that be a thing?
It's going to be Sky.
Like, yeah.
It's going to be Sky.
See Sky just sitting here going, y'all laughed at us.
Because Sky right now has a Disney Plus app and a Netflix app, and you can buy Sky with a Netflix button.
Got an image of Thanos sitting on the rocks with just the sky across his, instead of like Thanos' head, it's just Sky going, couldn't live with your own failure. Where did that bring you?
Yeah.
Back to me.
Back to me.
Back to me.
I kind of love it.
We've solved it. We solved what's going to happen.
Sky.
Well, Disney Plus are going to be in trouble if they don't get Marvel back on track.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I feel like this is maybe, we could talk about this briefly, but it's maybe room for like a whole episode.
It could be a whole episode.
And we could maybe try and get Eddie involved because we know how much he loves Marvel.
Oh, he absolutely loves it. It'd be so funny to quiz Eddie on Phase 4 without Eddie having seen a jot of Phase 4.
It'd be funny to fucking quiz both of us on Phase 4. I don't have a clue what's happening. Man, I mean, have you seen Thor 4?
Still
or are you going to?
Chance to say. At this point, with the way Lightyear just arrived on Disney Plus, I feel like I'm 3 weeks away from having Thor.
I mean, Doctor Strange just came on Disney Plus. So that's
Thor can't be far away. I think it'll be
Thor's not far away.
Mid-August.
I spoke to a mate today. He came into the shop and he was like, "Have you seen the new Thor movie?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's shite." He was like, and he went, "It was, wasn't it?" It's like, yeah. And then it was just like, what's happened? It was like, dunno. They're just, I mean, the MCU as clean cut and easy to follow ish as the Infinity Saga was. Right?
Yeah.
This, I think you shared something on our chat. Was it on the chat? You shared
46.
that.
It's like 46 hours of content or something.
Yeah,
so
let me
far.
get it up.
And we haven't got, pardon my French, but we haven't got a fucking clue where it's going.
No fucking clue. You did it recently, right?
I did very recently. If you look search by media, I think I sent it to you, possibly.
Oh, you sent it to me separately.
Because Eddie will be hearing that going, what? They're having conversations about the podcast without me?
Sorry,
It's just
Edward.
He hasn't watched
Yeah,
it.
so-
He hasn't watched any Phase 4.
So phase 1 was 6 films. What was that? That was
12
Iron
hours.
Man,
Iron Man 1,
Iron Man 1,
2,
Iron Man
Incredible
2.
Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Avengers.
Oh, okay, cool. Phase 1. Nice. That is 12.4 hours.
Boom,
that's-
pop quiz question.
Pretty easy to get. Phase 2 was another 6 films, which I imagine is Iron Man 3, Thor 2,
Thor
Captain
2,
America, Winter
2,
Soldier,
Guardians of the Galaxy,
and that ends on
Avengers Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron. And that is 12.7 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, similar. Phase 3,
Same,
almost,
but different. But still
Yes.
same.
Phase 3, almost double the films, so 11 films. And it is basically the Infinity Saga. It's everyone coming together, things happening, and then it all comes down to Endgame.
Yes.
That is 24.9 hours. 11 films. And that was great. That was amazing.
That's very I've just found a small pencil in my pocket.
And
Not a
that's
euphemism.
minus Incredible Hulk. Okay.
Something else.
Minus the Incredible Hulk. That's 22 films, right? And yeah,
Why minus the Incredible Hulk?
because I didn't watch it.
Oh, right.
Well, I did, but so I'm getting to a point. That's minus the Incredible Hulk. That's 22 films that I sat my mum and dad down in quarantine and we watched it within 22 days. Every night we watched the next Marvel film in chronological order.
Up to Endgame.
Up to Endgame, right?
Right.
I have no intention of allowing or wanting to sit down with my mum and dad and even attempting phase 4. Phase 4 so far is 6 films, the same as 1 and 2. However, 7 TV shows, which has accumulated into...
It must be
14
seven TV shows in production because we've not had 7 yet.
Right, yes. 49.5 hours. And I think the only time I've really figured out what's happening is from Loki. Genuinely.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. That's the only one that the irony is that Loki should have been. Loki was a TV show. Yeah, and that was good because you got to explore different things.
Yeah.
But the irony is that Loki should have been a movie because Loki deserved people needed to watch Loki.
Yeah.
And people would have gone
That's
to the
true.
cinema to have seen Loki.
It's a big enough name.
It's a big enough household name. It would have worked as a 2.5-hour film, I think. What it would have been a bit like Minority Report in a way. It would have worked. But the problem is this is what we're saying. I was saying it'd be funny to quiz Eddie about Phase 4 because the only one good one that's really come out of it, I would say the only top-notch thing that's come out of the Phase 4 so far is Spider-Man.
That was class. Yeah.
No Way Home.
That
was class. That's a very well-made film.
Yes. Top tier film.
Top tier film. Everything else has just felt either a bit meh or they've had really cool ideas and some really cool bits, and that's not to say there hasn't been cool moments.
Yeah.
But overall, and once again, we've just got no clue what the heck. Like, we thought this whole multiverse was the big thing, and then Multiverse of Madness didn't even really do the multiverse. They went through 3 and then landed in basically
1
and stayed there for most of the film.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so strange because when you think about what's happened from WandaVision had the evil witch as the bad guy. What's her name? Agatha. They had Agatha, but she's still alive, right?
Yeah, she's getting her own TV show.
Okay, so Agatha's still alive. We don't know where White Vision is.
Why is she getting her own TV show?
I don't know, but
why.
But this is the things so far that we don't know, right? And we've had 50 hours of this shit. Agatha is still alive, getting her own TV show. Cool. I guess we'll find
Vision,
out
no
why.
idea.
White Vision, don't know where he is. We met Captain America, the new Captain America, but he's really
we'll
shit.
call him Patriot, I think was his name. I could be wrong.
So, but then I honestly can't remember how that. Honestly, can't remember how that show ended. It's been so long ago.
That ended with Sharon Carter getting some sort of immunity deal to supply weapons or something, and I think she's a alien or a Skrull. But that's another story for another day. And then Agent Falcon got hooked up with the girl from Seinfeld, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, and then Falcon is now Captain America.
Yep.
Loki, we met. The Conqueror, what's his face? Kang
the Conqueror. Now
Kang
he
the
is
Conqueror.
supposed to. Kang the Conqueror.
He's supposed to be the big guy, bad.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the next. But from what I can understand, they've cast a really good actor for that as well. And his name escapes. Why does this always happen?
And he ate the scenery out of everything.
Oh, he's so good. But was it Harder They Fall he was in? Jonathan Majors. There we go.
Yeah. He was very, very good.
He's good. Chewing scenery. So good.
So from there, that's 3 TV shows so far. The other TV show we had was Miss Marvel, which I've not seen, but they did the whole your skin, your blood is mutated. Okay.
Well, that was the big hook. That was the big hook at the end. That they keep. The problem is you can only tease, but the problem is if people don't watch that, people aren't going to know about it. Whereas, at least in Multiverse of Madness, you heard the X-Men theme tune, you went, yes, X-Men. I know this, yes. Whereas, they keep teasing the X-Men, but they're thinking, we don't know what we're going to do with it yet. Stop keeping it in reserve, because it's kind of waiting to play that last card, and if you're not careful, Marvel, you won't get to play that last card.
I might not want to go see it.
Yeah.
And then what else have we had?
And Moon Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Moon Knight, great concept. Great character. I like Moon Knight as a character.
Did not like the TV show.
Didn't have any Moon Knight in it.
Or any like
Steven. My name's Steven and I have a fish.
That's very good, actually. Very good impression. All right, Steven. I can't sleep very well.
Yeah. I keep having these dreams.
I keep having dreams and I'm waking up at other sides of the world. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, that
he really
basically
does sound like Carl Pilkington when you do that. He said he based it off him as well.
That finished, and then nothing has changed, so that's fine. And then the Multiverse of Madness didn't really do anything. Spider-Man did some cool things, but then also didn't really do anything because they closed them again. They've all like teased the multiverse and closed the multiverse.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, no, I get it.
And then we're getting She-Hulk, which is fine. Don't know what that will progress.
Could be good. Could be bad. Who knows?
Could be good. Could be bad. We'll find out. And then Ant-Man's coming next.
And the villain in Ant-Man's apparently Kang the Conqueror.
Is Kang, yeah.
So I don't understand how he's going to fight them because that doesn't make any sense. Who knows at this point? And then apparently they find and Shang-Chi. Completely forgot about Shang-Chi.
Oh fuck!
That shows you how forgettable the back half of that film was. Even though the first half of that film is really cool.
It is very cool when they're in San Francisco.
Yeah, and they have the fight in the skyscraper. That's a really cool martial arts fight. And then they have to go big CGI Doomsday in an alternate dimension. Another hidden kingdom. I thought it was another universe there, but
anyway,
Shang-Chi
the MCU
progressed the plot. At the end, in the end credits, they progress the plot. Do you know? There's another one I forgot about. The Eternals. That happened.
Oh yeah.
Whereas we rattled off the first 2 phases like this.
Yeah.
There we go.
That just goes to show how things do peak and drop, but like Marvel's on a big old trough.
I think it's on a big drop. Yeah. Although this week it is San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, so trailers ahoy.
Could be trailers on trailers on trailers. And speaking of trailers on trailers on trailers,
it's a trailer time.
It might be time for some trailers, or perhaps a trailer time.
Nice.
The podcast within a podcast that's being said by me, who is usually spoken by Kid, who says it's hosted by Eddie, but it's actually hosted by Kid, but the content's put on by me. And breathe.
Yes, welcome everybody to a podcast within a podcast. Edward's not here, so I am going to be your host. My name is Ruaridh Kidd. And alongside me is Duncan Malcolm. What's up, Dunk? Ready for some trailers?
Hey, yes, it's not like we've spoken for the last hour. It's all good.
Yeah, nice, cool. Kicking it off with Halloween Ends. Apparently, the final movie of the Halloween
I thought
franchise.
Halloween Kills was the final one.
Well, now it ends. And Jamie Lee Curtis is going to end it.
Does it just hit midnight on October 31st? It just becomes November 1st, and that's the movie.
That'd be so good.
November 1st, Mike Myers just hangs up his mask and his knife and just walks away.
He's like, I'm done. I'm so done.
So done.
He'll do the Thanos thing and just sit in a field and watch the sunset.
Farming.
Sunrise.
Freddy Krueger turns up. Turns up as like Morgan Freeman at the end of Shawshank Redemption.
Well, here they are, the two men
who escaped Shawshank. Yeah, it's like, really, farming, a man of your talents.
Yeah, amazing.
But
yeah, this what I quite like. Did you watch Halloween Kills?
No.
So have you seen Halloween?
Yes, I've seen Halloween.
Okay. So what I liked about Halloween Kills was how they stuck to the original material and the way they shot it, or the way it was acted, or like the way it was directed. They really kept with that 80s feel of like cheesy one-liners and like ridiculous things where you're just like, well, why are you falling over all of a sudden? You're a human being. Let's walk there. You've known how to walk since you were 1, you know? And for some reason you can't walk all of a sudden. But this trailer looks similar. Like she does like the classic cheesy, like, come get me, you son of a bitch. And it's like, yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis with a knife. It looks more like less of a like slasher horror, he's gonna get you, and looks more like she's just gonna home alone her house. Do you know what I mean?
I feel, yeah, if you did the crossover everyone wants to see is is Halloween versus Home Alone.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Macaulay Culkin. It's like the Avengers. Basically, Jamie Lee Curtis is gonna be like hiding in the closet, and then you're just gonna hear a shotgun blast. And it's just Macaulay Culkin with a cigar.
You thirsty for more?
Evil dies tonight.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. It's Halloween. You're in the wrong season. It's the wrong holiday. Amazing. You're too early.
You're too early. Oh, shit, sorry.
I mean, what better than to replace the Sticky Bandits with a mute? Just a mute giant man.
The worst 2 burglars. Oh,
fuck it, I'd see that movie.
So,
that'd be great.
Macaulay Culkin in a horror, like, it'd be a great satire of Macaulay Culkin being in a sort of Halloween film where he has to take out people like that.
I think he kind of would do it as well, because he's quite quirky and weird. Or
will Mike Myers take off his mask and it is Macaulay Culkin? There's a plot twist for you.
That's so good.
Dear me. Yeah, it looks good. 40 years later.
Yeah, it's fine. I probably won't see it in cinemas, but I'll maybe wait for it to come out. But speaking of plot twists,
okay,
the new Lord of the Rings trailer for the Rings of Power had a plot twist for me that I was not expecting. This seems to be now a program. It's a TV show about Galadriel.
Correct.
That's what I got on this trailer.
Correct. And she's pretty much the main character.
Okay.
Well, that was always the intention.
Ah, right. Okay.
I don't know. I've never read The Silmarillion. I can't claim to have read it.
Is it about the Silmarillion? Is it?
It's the Silmarillion. That's it. They have rights to some appendices. I don't know the full story, but what I do understand is that Amazon, and I quote, will be loosely playing with the canon.
Okay.
Now just let that sink in. This is one of the most charted and historic fantasy canons of all time.
And they don't have all the rights to it.
And not only do they not have apparently all the rights to everything that they need, but they will also be loosely playing around with some things. Now,
Does that mean hobbits are now going to be called like boppets?
I don't think they have the rights to hobbits.
Yeah, in the trailer
there's
they had
people in this called Harfoots.
Yeah,
and I thought they see them walking through the field and they've got kind of the big hairy feet. You kind of go,
yeah. I went,
that seems
hobbit.
like a hobbit to me.
Looks like a hobbit. Yeah,
That looks like a hobbit. It looks like a hobbit. Talks like a hobbit.
What do they call them? Hardfoots.
Harfoots or hardfoots. Harfoots, I think it is.
Was that not the name of a hobbit family?
Maybe they're the ancestors to hobbits. I don't know, but it did seem strange that they weren't just called hobbits. But who knows?
They don't have the rights to call them hobbits.
I see. It's funny. You go on the internet, which is just a Wild West place, and you see a lot of people that love the idea of Luke's class, and I agree, it looks great. And then you see some people that are absolutely hating on this idea of this show, and they hate the idea that there's playing fast and loose with the canon. And the latest one I saw was some people were getting upset because the Tolkien scholars. I'm not even sure if that's a thing. I don't know how you can be it. But anyway, so the super fans of, like really big fans of
call them nerds.
The new stuff. Just call them nerds. Just call them nerds. We're really upset because some people were saying that this new show is basically tantamount to fan fiction.
Okay.
And it's kind of, as an insult.
Yeah.
And it's just been going. If you look it up, some people have just been going back and forth. Like
the
YouTube
Reddit
channels
feed.
are just going back, just not just Reddit feed, just YouTube videos from like one side who hate this idea, some people that love the idea, and I'm just gonna sit here thinking I'll watch it, and if it's good, it'll be good, and if it's not, it doesn't float my boat.
I'm gonna sit on the fence and go, I quite like it from here. Pretty good.
Looks alright. Yeah. If it's entertaining for however long. I'll tell you. So it does deserve. At the time, we'll probably do a huge big podcast on it. But one of the things is, I need to double check the dates on this, but is the next trailer House of the Dragon by Game of Thrones, is that coming out the same time as Lord of the Rings?
Ooh, that's an interesting
because that
thing.
is ballsy.
If you look that up now, I will talk about the trailer.
So yes, watch the Lord of the Rings trailer, listeners. It does look excellent.
Looks awesome. House of Dragon, I was quite skeptical because I was like, oh God, more Game of Thrones. Do I really want to jump back into this? And when I watched the trailer, it really drew me in. It really, really, really drew me in about how this woman can't take up the throne because she's a female, and the guy that's in the Iron Throne, his next heir is actually his brother, but then he might actually get to choose his daughter. But there's never been a female on the throne. And I don't know the lore of this at all, of Game of Thrones at all. So I'm imagining that they reference these people a lot in Game of Thrones that we've watched. What I don't want them to do is I don't want them to do it the same as they did with Game of Thrones, where they just they stretched out a season to there was so many filler episodes to then hit the one episode that would really affect something. But then I also feel like with the ending of the entire franchise was such a letdown. This actually might be quite good because they know how it ends.
So the problem with Game of Thrones was that there was a lot of filler episodes, but they were character work. So they were things that made you invested in the character. Okay? So think about it. Think how invested you were when the big event happened because you'd watched a lot and you kind of got to those moments. So those character moments were really important. And they were the characters were making decisions and the decisions were affecting the plot. What happened at the end of the season was that there was a plot and they had to get there. So what happened is you started getting those episodes basically all episode 8s, where they would be, it was tight. All of a sudden, it didn't take 2 episodes to get to King's Landing. All of a sudden, they're there within a click of a second because they had to be there. Yeah. So basically, the characters are being driven by the plot. The characters aren't making choices. It's we need to go beyond the wall. Why? Because we need to go. And
why? Because
why? Because Dave and Thingy are trying to go make Star Wars, and we need to get there already. Jeez, how'd that work out, Dave and Dave? Not very well.
Damn it. I see your point.
Yeah, I think it looks interesting. I'm intrigued by it. It's HBO Max again.
Yeah.
Kind of hope Now TV do a thing where I can just watch that.
Yeah. It looks really good though. Are they coming out at the same time?
September 2nd for Lord of the Rings. August 22nd for House of the Dragon. So House of the Dragon gets a little bit of a head start, but then they will be going toe to toe.
Yes.
But they're not, it's not, because they're streaming services, it's kind of different. If this was back in the days of Saturday night television, it'd be a fun thing to watch, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, because Game of Thrones was weekly, right?
Yes, weekly and on Sky in the UK at like a certain time.
Hopefully they do it the same again, maybe. I don't know. But shall we end it there? Because we're running out of time and Zoom only allows us to do 40 minutes at a time now.
Let's go for it. Can you rattle it off? But yeah,
I can rattle it off. We've got a minute and a half.
Go for it.
Thank you very much for tuning into this week's episode. Remember, you can catch us on all the socials at That's Class Pod, or you can email us on that'sclasspod@gmail.com. All new episodes will be up all at the same time wherever you find your podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Shut up. They'll all be uploaded whenever I find time to upload them. We record these episodes on a Wednesday now, and hopefully that gives me enough time to get them ready for the Monday coming. So it should be fine. Most Mondays, we'll say Monday, and then if it's not, it's probably going to be the next day. But keep your notification bells on, and then you'll know, and then you won't have to complain. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next week, and have a super day. Say goodbye, Duncan.
Goodbye, Duncan.
And Eddie's still not here, so we'll just...
All right, cool.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.